had known Greg off and on through our association as in a business relationship. You may not know it, but Greg is a businessman. He is not just a businessman, but he is a manufacturer. He is an owner of Dant Clayton Corporation, which happens to be an Atlas Machine customer. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that to begin with. Let's give him a hand for his support for us here. And it's a testimony to his character that he is here supporting us in the expansion that we have undertaken here at Atlas Machine this year, both forming our field service, field machining division, which is going to be a huge growth opportunity for this company, but also the expansion in capital equipment and reinvestment in this company that has taken place, and he just saw part of that just on a quick tour through our facility here. The other thing that is really encouraging about Mayor Fischer is his commitment to manufacturing. And I'll be honest with you, having served on the board of Greater Louisville Incorporated and on their executive committee, I felt pretty lonely in that group. I was the only manufacturer on a 50-person board that's supposed to be running the economic leadership of this community. So I felt pretty lonely. Mayor Fischer does have a commitment to manufacturing. He is committed to developing the manufacturing base and the jobs base in this part of the country in cooperation with Jim Gray, who I believe is also the mayor of Lexington. So let's welcome Mayor Fischer to Atlas Machine.
Well, thanks, and it's great to be with you all. Congratulations on your expansion. My manufacturing career started in 1980. There were 4 of us that took over a really small company in Sellersburg, Indiana, an old beat-down garage. And so one of my jobs as mayor is to make sure we have as many jobs as we possibly can in the community. So I'm in charge of, yes, making sure the garbage is picked up, but we got to look out 10 and 20 years as well. And so one of the things that's bothered me over the last 30 years is the loss of manufacturing jobs in America. And we were on such a roll as a country that it's like, well, we don't need to manufacture anything, that's beneath us, you know, we just want to do these high-tech jobs and service jobs. And so we became uncompetitive as a country in the manufacturing sector. Now, we say that service jobs will replace manufacturing jobs. Big problem with that assumption. You got a good manufacturing job making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, replace that with a service job that's a $20,000 to $25,000 a year job. You can't live on it. It's as simple as that. So when you take a look at our percentage of manufacturing in this country versus other countries like Germany, they're just much more manufacturing intense. So as a percentage of their population, they have a lot more people making good middle income wages, like you guys have here in this factory. So this has become a national crisis for us. The United States exports about 14% of its gross domestic product. Germany's around 35 to 40%. So you can be in a country like America or Germany or Switzerland and have world-class productivity. You guys are living examples of this. But you've got to have the right equipment, you've got to have the right training, you've got to have a commitment to safety, quality, productivity. And that was the problem with American manufacturing, is we took our eyes off the ball for a while. Well, now we're saying we got to get that back. So last 2 weeks, we announced here in Louisville and Lexington a regional economic development strategy around bringing manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, back to the United States of America. And we're working with a group called the Brookings Institute in Washington, D.C., and then the Bloomberg Foundation, which is Michael Bloomberg's foundation, to figure out how we bring advanced manufacturing back to this country. And we're using the Lexington and Louisville region as the pilot for the country. Because we all know the bottom line is, if we're not producing at the highest rate of quality, productivity, and safety, people are going to buy elsewhere. So we can figure it out as a country. You guys are doing it right here every day. Now the question is, how do we expand that for this region and create tens and tens of thousands of jobs around that? So, so that's what the project is that we're working on. It's about an 18-month project or so, and you can expect after that the results we're looking for are: 1, higher graduation rates out of high school. Right now, 30% of the kids that start high school do not graduate. Okay. There has been a tendency to take options away from our kids. Southern High School, Elmer's here, and Stuart Benson, is a unique example where we provide a good vocational option for kids that are interested in that. That's an exception, though, here in Jefferson County. We need more opportunities like that so that young men, young women can see different career paths for them. So I'm hoping that's going to lead to higher graduation rates out of high school, because that's a crisis when only 30% or only 70% of your kids graduate from high school. We'll see companies opening up new plants in this area, what's called the bluegrass area, bringing jobs here because they say the workforce is ready to go. It's as good as any in the world. So those are the type of deliverables we're looking for from the project. What you find in the countries that are doing very well with manufacturing is they've got alignment between either federal strategy in terms of the government strategy for economic competitiveness, or at least on the state level. And that's where we'll be working on the state level. And then with the educational institutions, from college, junior colleges, through high schools and vocational schools, and then of course into the needs of the workplace. It's not a haphazard type of approach. Here's a system of how we build world-class manufacturing talent in our communities, and here's how we resource it. It's just essential as a country we figure out how to get manufacturing back in the United States of America. So I want to thank you all for the good job that you are doing that by being a model, proving how it can be done, so that we can get a lot of our people back to work. At the end of the day, this is about jobs and creating better jobs.